All right, so now I want to briefly discuss DuPont analysis. But before I calculate what's known as a DuPont ROE, which in our case, I'll go ahead and tell you it's going to equal what we've calculated previously, kind of want to discuss some of the theory behind it. So I'll do that kind of over here. So we could actually, using system here, we could say that ROA is equal to net income divided by total assets times net income, or excuse me, it's equal. I'll just put a little quote there. That is actually equal to net income over sales multiplied by sales times or divided by total assets. So these should look familiar to you because what this actually is, this is net profit margin, and the sales over total assets, that's asset turnover, total asset turnover. So if I multiply those two ratios together, that will get me return on assets because these cancel out in the denominators. Another thing to consider, do the same thing with ROE. So remember, ROE is equal to net income divided by equity. That is equal to net income, divided by total assets, multiplied by total assets, which will cancel out, divided by equity. So net income over your total assets, that's just net, excuse me, that's your ROA. So ROA here multiplied this total assets over equity. This is sometimes called the equity multiplier. So when you do that, that'll get you ROE. So ROE is a function of ROA. This equity multiplier, we can do some rearranging here. So let's suppose I did total assets over total equity. That is equal to 1 over 1 minus the total debt ratio, which is equal to 1 over 1 minus total debt over total assets. Doing a little bit of substitution algebra here. When do ROE is equal to net income divided by total assets. Then all this is divided by one minus total debt over total assets. So this ROE, doing a little bit more substitution, it's going to be equal to net income over sales times sales over total assets. And then all that is divided by 1 minus total debt over total assets. Simplifying this is going to give you net profit margin times total asset turnover, all that divided by 1 minus the total debt ratio. So you can check for yourself to see if these equations make sense, and with the numbers we're already calculated or manipulating a little bit, see if you can get those as well. But that's how return on equity and return on assets, it's a function of return on equity, and that's how all those break together, and that's called the DuPont analysis.